Before we roll some tape on what Jett had to say about that whole situation, which I thought was pretty interesting, and I was thinking about a little bit, but I haven't talked to you about this. Do you feel? Was there ever a moment you thought he's going to let Hunter win?
I kind of thought, like I was sitting watching it live, right? And I'm like, okay, well, if he doesn't get any pressure from Jason, does he sit there and kind of just, not let him take this win,
Right.
but essentially let him have this win. But I thought middle to the later part of the race there, Jett was putting a ton of pressure on Hunter and was kind of holding him up. So he made the move. I think if it would have been in the scenario of where Jett had to kind of push the limit just a little bit, I think he would have said, okay, I'm Hunter's gonna take the win tonight. I just be consistent, be smooth. But I think he was holding him up way too much, where it was just an easy pass.
Really? You don't even what do you think about points? You don't think there's ever a point?
I mean, I think going in,
you don't
think where it was. I think he obviously pit boards. He kind of knew where Coop was.
You think he'd be willing to give up those three guys? Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I know the family dynamic is really tight, right. And it is really cool. That's a big confidence builder. But I just felt like Anderson was putting a little too much pressure on him, and then Jett was putting too much pressure on Hunter, and he had to make the move. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe he just said, "No, my brother. That's my Hunter."
Role play this weekend. Same scenario. If the same scenario plays out, and Hunter's in the lead. Coop's nowhere to be found. Does he let him win?
I mean, I'd have to think maybe.
I do. I think he does.
Maybe. I think he does. For the story of it, I think for the brand.
Well, then so it's twofold. For the brand, it's his brother getting his first win at the premier level. He's got the championship because Coop's nowhere.
There's no bigger story for it.
He's not popping up any points.
We'll see. I mean,
I hope it plays out that way.
It would be really cool. I mean, obviously they just made history with, I think, two brothers doing, going 1 and 2 in the 450 class never been done. So that's really cool to see. And honestly, it couldn't really happen to two better riders. Yeah. I mean, fans, if you love them, you hate them, whatever the case may be. From my point where I sit in my chair, they're great ambassadors for the sport, and Jett is doing things that nobody has ever really done in this sport. His skill level is so high, his consistency at such a young age, it's great for the sport.
Hey, enough of our talk about it. Aaron, roll what Jetson had to say about that.
You got Hunter there potentially for his first 450 win, but you got points you got to fight for as well. Is there any point there where you were thinking, maybe this should just be Hunter's tonight?
Yeah, it definitely crossed my mind. Kind of probably around halfway, and I was still behind him. It crossed my mind, like, because I could see Cooper was pretty far back. But I'm like, how far back is he? And I'm like, I want to get past just to have a little extra bigger cushion, but then again, not. But I'm like, I would like to have the extra points for the last one, sadly enough. But no, Hunter's riding great, and I think if it was any other night, I think I wouldn't have tried to having a push and passing him. But he had to make me step it up a gear and go. So no, it was an awesome night. It felt like a practice day.
Yeah, I like it. Just like you said, like
any other day.
Yeah, any other day. He kind of alluded to I would have given it to him if scenarios would have been a little bit different. Yes, with 2 to go in that scenario of yes, you have a points gap, but those extra 3, definitely that adds to that cushion. And now it's a breeze, right? He's got a 20-point lead coming into the last round. But like we saw last year, here we go, 336 for Jett, Cooper's 20 down, and Eli's 54. But like we saw last year, Eli winning the championship and tears his Achilles tendon right on the fly, and just it happened, right? And so that's why those extra points, that's the maturity. That's what you see as the type of racer he is. Even though it's his brother or not, he's looking to the big picture.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.